And Laura, we'll be doing questions. Jacob, go ahead.
Hey Laura, thanks for taking time to chat with us. Obviously, I'm going to ask you about your overall thoughts on the game, but most importantly, lose 200 match comes with a W. Just wonder if you can just speak on, what she means to you, having coached her, since day one, and to be back here to coach her for this incredible milestone.
Yeah, there's not enough words really. I think I was just thinking about it before I came in here, and I think it's really hard to put in perspective how big of achievement that is for her. Because I don't know, I mean, someone probably can tell me this stat, but the amount of games that have been played in this league, to have actually played in the amount she has is an unreal achievement. To have done it for the same club in a league that's set up for that not to happen is a phenomenal. I don't think it will be matched. And it shows just the level of talent she has, how consistent she is, how big of a role she's played in the development of what this club is today. She's willing to put her body on the line for the team, and she does it without needing to be the star. And I think, it's just a phenomenal achievement. Obviously as a coach, getting that many games is one thing, but for a player to do it so quickly is frightening. It's scary, and I think she doesn't get the credit she deserves. She's not polarizing as a person. She's humble and wants everyone else to get the limelight instead of it being her. And I'm just really happy today that she can celebrate tonight with her family. Tomorrow we can continue that on at Sue's Two Bird stuff. And I think there's no better person and player to be the first to do it than Lou Barnes.
Early in the match, your team faced some real adversity with Pino's injury early, and 2 yellows to 2 central defensive players. Can you talk about your team's response to that early adversity today, especially given the need for a big response after last week's result?
Yeah, I thought just overall in the game, we had moments of really, really good stuff. It probably outweighed the times where we didn't do that. And again, I think you look at last week's game to this week's game. I said last week we lacked a bit of quality when we needed it. Tonight we had it. To me, that was the difference in the game. Disappointed to concede late. That's something that's now happened in 2 games, and that's not who we are, so we need to solve that. But I thought that obviously losing Pino so early was disappointing. And I was like, wow, for Alana and Sonnet to get booked so quickly, we were thinking about how we might have to get one or both of them out the game. But I think it just says a lot about the group, that the belief that they have when we score goals is so evident. And that's why last week, even though we were so disappointed to lose to Portland, we always will be disappointed to lose at home, I knew it wasn't like a catalyst moment. It couldn't be, because it wasn't the game wasn't that way. And tonight, when we had moments of quality, we took them more than we did last week. And that's how unforgiving this league is. You have to take those chances when you get them, and we did.
First, following up quickly on Megan, obviously she went out really early. Can you give us any insight into that decision and how she's doing?
I have no idea. I mean, she's okay. I think I truly don't know the severity of any of it. I don't really know where it is on her body, so I'm just the way it is. I think obviously with what's to come for her potentially, I think if it wasn't that on the horizon, maybe we might have handled it a little bit differently. But I mean, I'm glad she could get out quickly and not have to push through it. So yeah, I don't have a lot of update.
And then on Sophia, she had a terrific performance today. Got more into the offense today. Seems like something you've been trying to improve since teams have kind of caught on to that. And she's obviously also vying for a spot on that World Cup roster. Can you speak on her performance and sort of what qualities she possessed that might make her on that roster?
Yeah, I thought last week she had a good game. And I thought this week, again, she defended on the front foot. She got in positions to play forward. And she put balls, quality crosses into the box, which is what she's created her current status as. I thought she did a good job of that last week too. But I also think it tells you a lot about who she is as a person and where she's at mentally, that in a moment of need, where obviously our penalty taker is Pino, our next penalty taker is Rose, our next penalty taker is Bolsa, and none of them are on the field. So I think Jordan Heitemer is the next one. But Sophia was adamant she wanted to take it, and I think that says a lot about her mentality, that one, she's willing to step up in a really important moment for the team, and two, having been to a major tournament myself as a coach, being able to see that a player is willing to do that in a big moment says a lot about her. That I'm not saying it'll be the difference between her getting on the plane or not, but knowing that someone's willing to step up and take a penalty in the big moments is also something that I'm sure coaches will look at. So yeah, really proud of her tonight. I thought she was excellent.
Ayush from Next Gen. Hi Laura, thank you for taking my question. First of all, nice outfit today. And I'd like to call out Ziara King today.
Yep.
She was high and wide, then sometimes lower than the holding midfielder. She won 50-50 balls in the middle.
Yep.
When a player that's newer to the starting lineup, as she is, what stress does that take off a manager?
Yeah, I think, Z played in the Challenge Cup against San Diego, and I thought it was her best performance that I'd ever seen her play for this club. And it was those things. I think one of the things that Z's developed into her game, which for me is a big part of who we are, is she's super reliable defensively now. And she understands the role, she understands what's required. And that's something that I think Verona Klatsko's done a really good job of too. And we defended in a very specific way today. You may have seen a little bit similar this morning in the Champions League. I'm not sure we did it as well as Man City, but we defended in a very specific way, and I think it really suits Z. She worked so hard at doing it. It's hard work to be able to do that. And she got some reward in the first half of winning the ball, and she just couldn't get that, next pass off or shot or whatever and get the reward for it. But yeah, I think her development, it's like, I see this a lot with players that go through a journey in this league and something just clicks. And for me, in the last maybe month with Z, something's just clicked. And I think she understands what it takes for her mentally. I think she understands what it needs to take physically. And she's able to execute it technically now too, which I think that's going to be phenomenal for us for this season. Obviously, we've got a big period coming up where either we're going to be missing players through injury or through the World Cup. And she's going to play a big role.
And then second of all, you mentioned City today. They won the Champions League.
Yeah.
You have joined that project, and they've had mad success because of the backing that he's had from the ownership.
Yep.
You recently got a new GM. Are you pointing to a project like City and asking for that kind of support now?
I wish I could point to something like Man City. Not really. I think what we're probably in a different place than where they were when their project started. I think we're an established club that's obviously had success at a certain level for a while. But and I think we have a very young group, pretty much. We have a couple of older players that we're going to need to replace at some point. And I think that's the thing for us now is short term, what do we need? And long term, what are our projects to try and make sure that we can continue the success that this club's had. I think that, we do believe that we're missing one trophy to really establish ourselves as, and one of the ultimately best teams in this league. But on games won alone, I think it's as important, way out ahead of everybody else. So I think that to sustain that success over numerous years moving forward, it's what we need to do short term to try and get us over the line for what we truly want now, but then also looking at the long term, which I'm sure we won't be able to really get to until we get new ownership.
Wanted to get your thoughts on Jordan's performance today. She scored an amazing header to make it the second goal. But I also noticed that she hasn't started in the league since the May 21st game against Gotham. Obviously there's Challenge Cup, but maybe after today's performance there's more of an argument for more starts on Jordan's part.
Yeah, in fairness to Jordan, I don't know what date she came into the club last year. I just remember she played in the Angel City away game and started and never looked back. Like, she's never not started any game. And obviously the Gotham game was a tough one, but I think Jordan was actually carrying a little bit of an injury prior to that game, and she'd been sort of playing through it a little bit, and I think it was right for us to sort of take her out a little bit, take the pressure off. But I made a very early decision this week that I was going to start her. I told her that, and wanted to give her the opportunity to show that she's through the injury now. It wasn't obviously bad enough that she couldn't play, but it's completely resolved, and she's back to where she needs to be. And again, she's another one that has something bigger than what we're currently living in coming up in the next month or so. So I know tonight was big for her, and I thought her work rate off the ball again was exceptional. And that movement in the box and a willingness to make runs to score headers off crosses has definitely been something that we've been talking to her about. And she obviously scored one earlier in the season against Louisville really late. And I thought the header was fantastic, the cross was great, and the whole build up to that second goal was great too. So just really happy for her that she got a reward.
All right, that's it for questions. Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.